Welcome to the Monday, October 24th, 2016 town meeting, Finance Committee meeting before town meeting. All right, we have a roll call.
Present today, Chairman Hurd, Clerk Bailey, Mr. Novick, Mr. Wareham, Mrs. Drummond.
Very good. All right. Citizens' participation. Ask anyone to please step forward. And once again, we're inundated. All right, Finance Committee matters. Review, discuss the town meeting warrant. There have been a couple of changes in it since last time. Eric, would you like to go over those for everybody? Brand new town meeting warrant in front of you. Which is revised from the one I sent you this morning.
Right, yeah, I think Tom, I don't have. One of the main things which will help and get things moving along is the consent agenda that you see. And there'll
It's on
be
page 2.
page 2. And you'll see I'll be passing over Articles 1, 9, 10, and 19. 1 is the budget transfers and then required at this time. 9 is unpaid bills.
Still none? That's great.
10 is the request for the WPCF and the equalizing basins. It was the 200,000. Mr. Campino has requested that we pass over that. He feels like there's some technology that may be cheaper overall than what the clarifiers were, and why spend money on these basins if you can get this other process moving. So.
Good.
Then article, it'll be to approve Article 12 and 13 as written in the warrant. Article 12 is to rescind the prior year bond authorizations, which is just a housekeeping matter. And really, the Title V septic loan interest is a housekeeping matter, something we do here. And then 18, you'll see there'll be a handout called the administration handout. And why it's set up that way is because we needed to put the actual transfer amount in that, and that's for the McKinney-Vento, which is Article 18. You'll see on page 3 of the handout, and just go out and tell you, it's just going to tell you that there's $31,406 that's transferred from McKinney-Vento to the revolving fund. That's the reimbursements that we receive for homeless student transfer.
So that's the changes, the actual number there.
Correct.
All right, fine.
And we're just putting it under the consent agenda, because it's something we're doing every year so far. It's just the amounts may vary given on what our reimbursements are. The dump trucks were added to the capital plan.
All right.
Taken out of their operating budget. It's going to still use their operating, but the capital plan, you see in the handout, when you see the whole capital plan, when it goes to funding source, you'll see the approved only, no transfer. So we're just approving them to buy it. They already have the funds in there.
So Article 19 as written in the handout you gave us says I move we vote to pass over
Right.
Article 19. So Article 1.
It's if the consent agenda passes, anytime those articles come up, they'll already have been, action would have already been taken.
Someone will explain why they're consent agenda.
Yeah, Claire should be able to give a good run, and then when she speaks about it, I'm just going to speak to each article real quick on it. Just to get us back
for us to answer that, I think.
I feel good, but
We don't.
It's already speaking for everyone. We just said we agree.
And then this is just the, once you get free cash, I corrected that, so it's the 865.
65.
Did you see the capital plan for this summer?
No, we have not.
If you look at this, the top portion, you'll see what the FY17 certified free cash was, and And then you're going to see something called holdbacks, which is non-town meeting. We're not taking these actions. We're just basically, in our own mind, if you will, reserving this. And we're going to start rolling over free cash is really what we'd like to do so that you always have a constant balance of your free cash instead of expending it down to zero. And then snow and ice hold, you know, if you,
Can you expend free cash without doing all the town meetings? You can reschedule this. So it's a savings account.
it's essentially, if we
Or
wanted to.
stabilization fund, so to speak.
Right, if we want to do anything, if we take no action on that $500,000+,
Yeah.
that's just going to, at the end of the day, it's going to go to our fund balance. It keeps an extra $500,000 into our fund balance. And then when we get our free cash certified again, that'll be part of it. So if, let's say snow and ice was a miserable year beyond what we want to hold for 350, we would have this available too for springtime meeting.
So we could expend it in springtime.
Right.
But we have to have another vote on use of this money.
Correct.
Is there an advantage to doing it this way, flexibility-wise or something, versus putting it in some kind of stabilization fund?
Well,
Just from my understanding.
if you put into another stabilization fund, then we'd have to create another fund to hold it there, but usually the practice is.
We have one just for the whole town, right?
Right, we have a single stabilization fund. And this is just the way, if our fund balances, let's say, the motor vehicle excise comes in much lower than we thought. Well, you know, you don't have to worry about some of the mid-year changes and such, because you already know that your fund balance is an extra 500,000. So it's a safety net.
Okay, so it could be spent just for things that are already allocated.
Right, I could not touch this money and expend it whatsoever.
Until
But if
another
something
town
comes
meeting.
in short,
Right, it's part of our fund balance, so when we do the accounting procedures at the end of the year, it would balance out.
It's still $500,000 contingency, just in case time of the commission to spend.
Right.
Right. And you're just giving a reason to hold it back.
Is really what I'm saying here, yeah. Free cash, roll over, we're gonna try and roll over X amount, you know, we're probably gonna have to look at putting a policy on there, because you wanna have about 5% of your operating revenues in free cash every year. So for us, again, that's a little over $3 million. So part of getting there is having a hold back and just being, you know, prudent in how we manage. Snow and ice holdover, the expenditures have been about like 350,000 to 400, depending on what sort of winter we're having. So that's I felt that's a good hold back, not to do anything on, just know that we have those funds available.
And what did we spend last year?
Close to half money.
Yeah, no, I would have thought it was over that.
Actual was 440,000 plus personnel services 516,000.
So we budgeted about 322. So, and then one of the years it was well over 800,000. That year, if you will.
Yep.
So, you
It
took
was
about
516.
So altogether having just under 700,000 in there is.
Yep.
And again, we're not taking any action of transferring, we're just putting that, keeping that money in. And then the last one is, we remember the Minor Force feasibility study. We said that we would expend free cash for that.
Yes.
So that obviously isn't done. So once that's completed, we're estimating, they estimated about $1 million for it, 71% reimbursement. So it's fair to hold back 300,000. So, you know, almost a little over a third is being held back.
Good.
And we're going to transfer to stabilization fund, $500,000 plus the $120,000 to repay the grant. And that will bring our stabilization fund balance to, right here, to about $3,086,582, which is a little over 5%.
What is this for?
That's just a contingency fund, if we ever needed to use it for an emergency, if a hurricane came and we weren't receiving anything, if we did have a giant mid-year cut in the state aid or something, you could use it. But really, we've also used it for, this is what's helped us with our bond rating, and it's
lowers your interest rate, it's lowers services, it's just good to have some.
and we now have this in an account that the total about $128,000 in interest was earned over last year. So between that plus maybe transfer, maybe transfer about $150,000 a year of free cash and stabilization.
Because we're up to 5 million right now.
We're up to the 5%.
It's
You could always put,
3.5 million.
you could always put more in, but you know me, I'm gonna mind that, you know.
Right.
And there's gonna be some time that maybe there's an amazing opportunity that our town needs some funds to go after, and we would have them available.
Good. No, that's a very good thing to have.
And then the next one would be $250,000 to our other post-employment benefit, the trust fund, which is under the PCOT. And our liabilities are about $82 million when you take it out over 30 years. GASB 45 is going away. It was at 57, that's going to now have it be on our balance sheets, which means the next step is most likely in a few years, we'll see this having to be actually funded over 30 years. So we need to start putting money away. And really part of the thought process is this is going to supplement or supplant what we were putting into the stabilization fund will now start going towards the OPEB
Okay.
fund.
And that's really retirement.
Or healthcare.
It's healthcare. So it's
So 87 million is just healthcare.
about 82 million. And
What's
that's
the
what-
retirement?
Well, the retirement, we're looking to be fully funded by 2032. So we're actually on course with the way we're funding it.
So when someone retires, they get healthcare for life, or they get healthcare so they're eligible for Medicare?
Well, we do say everybody goes on to Medicare as well, but that's through, there's a town plan for that. As soon as you reach, I think it's 65, you have to go on.
Okay.
So,
So it
It-
isn't,
With $250,000, we are falling still further behind.
yeah, if it's, but the big difference now with this is where we were receiving, our discount rate was maybe 4%, 3.5%. Now with actually having a funding plan to go in there, you're probably looking at 7 to 7.5% for a discount rate, which will drastically reduce the liabilities.
enormously,
Yeah, so practically.
especially when that would cut in half, from 7.
Yeah, I would think our liabilities, I think what I looked at, are going from about 82 to 55 million right off the bat. And that's just with the discount rate, and that's not including really putting any money into there. So I've seen some other communities are Westport's trying to do a full funding plan of putting $1 million a year, $1 million a year. I don't necessarily know that we have the capability to do that, but we can start really going after it.
Before they force us to.
Yeah, so it's, I would much, if we've got some money in the bank already, it's, the taxpayer should consider this too. It's much better to have maybe $1 million assessment rather than a $2 million, because we're not catching up on back interest. It's like anything. You wish you started putting money in your 401k when you were 20 rather than when you were 30.
Or 50.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So then the next item, well, that's the 120 is part of the total transfer, the master plan and visioning, and that's, the current master plan was completed in 1998. It was well done, and a lot of effort went into completing the plan. However, after 20 years, it's time to update the plan hold public hearings and get input from residents on how they want their community shaped. And the master plan, you know, what we'd really like to have is a master plan visioning that doesn't go from work table to shelf, but actually be a roadmap that we can take actions. And we're going to need this for some of the grants that we're going forward on.
There's additional for funding for this in here? I know I saw master plan in other place. Maybe it was just development.
So there was a committee.
The committee, okay, and this one's,
This is funding for it. The other one was set up.
I heard the word so much.
MS4 is the next one on their code enforcement I'll kick back to. But MS4, that's the municipal separate storm sewer system permit, and that's for funding the requirements under it. Under the new EPA guidelines, the notice intent for the town's MS4 permit needs to be completed by September 2017, and the stormwater management plan by July 2018. I was originally going to do 25,000. We're trying to get together with a consortium of other, if you will, communities that are affected by this. We're already working with 5 and trying to get some grant funding from the state and have them release 500,000 for us on this. However, I can't put all our eggs in that basket. We need to move forward on planning for this, so we're not going to get fined.
Now, is this going to be a separation of storm drains from existing sewer lines?
No, well, most of them shouldn't be going into sewer anymore. That's, I think we found some in Swiss. The only problem is those used to move some solids around. And now with alpha stormwater going in there, it's not moving as quickly. But these are actually not sewer lines. These are your drains just draining out into any of the waters or draining down into the ground.
All right.
So we've got some of the hot spots in this town. I was looking at the mapping, and they were, you saw the mapping. All right, well, there's some areas in the town that really isn't looked to not be affected by this, but it gives you the population report that's underneath this, and this was from the past survey, and it's 22,800, 21,700 out of 22,800. People were affected by this. It's the entire town. There's just
everybody.
Yeah. And then the code enforcement is the 50,000 for one-time funding, and that's to get that up and going. We've already established the revolving fund on that. This person is to go out and start more of the enforcement, going through fines to hopefully pay for their salary in the future. And that's what the thought process has been behind it. Sometimes you don't always get backing you up on it.
But this is the seed money for it.
Correct.
Now, do you have to, this is going to be an article that's going to, it seems like we're expending money for MS4. Code enforcement was approved before. Master plan, are we on the master plan, or is this, I'm just trying to understand the mechanics of it.
The one,
The redevelopment.
right, Article 3 would be the transfer of free cash, which would be the stabilization fund, MS4, master plan, and Plymouth County OPEB trust. So I need to vote on that.
Okay.
And then Article 4 is the code enforcement. This was
Right.
basically just an omnibus tracking for the finance committee to see where free cash is going.
Okay. We knew the code enforcement was approved before, just didn't have the seed money.
Right.
It was a while ago, we did this very early this year.
It was. Yes. It's good.
We're weirdly late. Should have read it before I got here.
So then capital, which is under Article 2, and again, we brought the, you wouldn't see it on this, but on the handout you have, but we brought the school's dump truck in there, and it's for approval only on the school's dump truck. But there's past school capital, which they were doing for, it's $190,000. That's HVAC, fixtures, furniture, technology, security, curriculum, textbooks, and materials. And that was part of, when working with them on the FY17 budget, we was trying to get them to pull capital out, because if it were one-time capital expenditures, it really doesn't belong in the budget, unless we have it, unless they have a pure capital line in their budget.
So that is, it's HVAC, does that include the truck also?
It does not. The
Does
truck,
not.
this is free cash transfers.
Chairs, or they're actually buying new equipment?
Yeah. I would say
It
it's
doesn't
going to
seem
be.
like you're gonna get, it's a long list of expensive stuff for $190,000.
It is, unfortunately, once you start hitting a certain level of expenditure, even if it's in a grouping, it triggers our capital planning. So $50,000 worth of repairs technically is a capital item.
Books are capital.
Books are capital, which they've approved, our bond council's approved before. However, the State House won't issue notes on those under capital, which is interesting.
Dirk, do you have another one of those?
Oh, didn't we?
Right, no, this means this.
Thank you, Dirk. Is there any logic between a dump truck for the school versus having it in municipal maintenance?
Yes.
Yeah, why would our guys drive over left and right to do the work for the school every 5 minutes?
They're fixing the fields, they're plowing around yards.
So the thing, so we did ask that? So that the school has its own maintenance guy on it now?
They have their own,
They always have foots and grounds.
they have their own maintenance and grounds.
I know they have that, but do they have their own guy that changes the oil and checks the plugs and does all that stuff?
No.
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 So what you're saying is it would be good to have all vehicles under one
You bet.
and just assign them like a motor pool.
Yeah.
So they're assigned to the school to keep them.
I mean, you got one guy worrying about what he's buying and how it's consistent with the other trucks that they have. I mean, it just,
I understand what you're saying on that. However, that would be.
the same thing with the security cameras, where you got 3 different groups, one about security cameras.
Should be consistent.
It's not prudent, I don't think, but it's the way it is right now. So fix it.
Okay. The next is the boom truck, and that is what went up in the fire over at municipal maintenance. We did receive an $18,000 settlement on that.
For the insurance?
Yeah, so, I mean, it was a 1980.
It was an old one, yeah.
Yeah, 1989. And I looked, and I think we spent $63,000 on it, brand new,
So
so.
you got a third of it back.
Yeah, which is
Along with
actually
that,
pretty
You use it to
impressive.
death,
Yeah.
yeah, good.
So we do use this from tree trimming to really, it's an everyday one. They demoed one truck that they really liked, and they got it for a week, and you saw them zipping all around town, getting as much done as possible while they had the truck.
Good.
The next is school buses, it's $160,000. This one, we are going again for 10 new buses through the EPA grant.
Grants on this again.
So I'm looking to have this, it's a tough way to do this. I'm looking to set aside $160,000 for school buses. If we don't get the new grant, I would expect we'd purchase 2 new buses with these funds. If we do get the grant, I want these funds set aside so that we can prove to them that we have it. We nearly lost it last time because we had to wait till the next town meeting to actually get funding and approval for it. So this is just putting money aside for if we do get it. And if not, well, at least we'll get 2 new buses, and we're going to need to keep on
Replacing them.
Yeah.
Great.
Police vehicles, one would be the prisoner transport. It's not going to be the Bentley that was requested years in the past. It's, and it would be, we're really trying to get, believe it or not, 4 vehicles out of this with some of the trade-ins and such. I don't know if we'll get there, so I'm going to be non-specific on the number, because if I said 3 vehicles, we can only ever buy 3 vehicles. So,
Limited by that.
right. But one of them is prisoner transport, and the rest would be cruisers. We can get some of them if they're going to be. We know we need some unmarks as well, and those are much cheaper than just the regular cruiser. Yeah.
Good.
The next would be IT equipment, and going over that is predominantly, that's going to be some that will be the security cameras and such. We also, a new GIS plotter, and really other equipment that they need. LED streetlights, this is phase 3 of the program. There's not including the period lights and onset, there's approximately 1,700 lights in the town, street lights, and as of now, we've converted 400 of them to LED, so.
Have we seen a tremendous savings on that yet, Derek? Have you noticed anything that you can report to us?
You know, we just did 300 of them, believe it or not, because how we went with them was the ones that gave the biggest incentive, allowed us to keep on buying more and more through the whole project.
Right.
So when the first go round, you only got about 100 because you were picking and choosing. We got 300 for the second round.
So there won't be a while before we can
Yeah,
actually put a number on something like that.
What I would suggest is, we're going into sort of the interesting time. It's the darkest time of the year, so I would say probably November, December, and January, we take a look back to the next period.
You might be able to get us a number.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, some of the wattage, you're going down from 75 to 35. Some of them were 280 down to 50.
Somebody said that it's a tremendous savings. To do, you know, if you do it right, it's a tremendous long-term savings.
Did you read the article about the blue factor?
Some of the,
Are we at 4,000, 3,000? The blue is apparently, the people don't sleep as well.
Yeah, there's
The
some
high
that
blue.
talking about the heat. It's not, they're not hot. They're talking about the heat as in the light sensitivity of it.
No, they're talking about the color of the light.
Yeah.
The blueness in the light, it affects the wildlife as well as people. So some of the old ladies in tennis shoes are going to be asking you the question. This is what we're putting up. I'm serious. There was an article, I believe it was in the New York Times, you said.
No kidding.
Yeah.
No, there was an
Providence
medical
is-
journal
Providence.
earlier. I know it's the, I talked to some of the other municipalities that have done it.
I'm just
There is
looking at you to be able to answer the question.
Yeah, we had one person complain, they said it was too bright on Nikon, so we took it out. We're accommodating.
All right.
You don't want to
Do we
light
have a
them
problem with solar credits if we continue on with this?
I don't think we're reaching.
No, that was a good sign.
Yeah.
Excess solar credits, which theoretically could be sold.
We still, in looking at it, we get about 160,000 back last year. And that's what we made off of the solar credits off of that. Yeah, we should be fine. And then this year, we know it'll be a little bit lower because they had a outage. There was some sort of mechanical failure that they had on their end. So we lost about a month. But it's, I don't think we'll reach that level. Police equipment are the tasers, defibrillators and such, and this isn't give us 70 of these now, this is a phase-in changeover equipment. And then we have the vibratory roller, which, if you look at it, it looks like a mini steamroller, that is for bathing and such.
Go back one, the electrical vehicle charging stations.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I did.
It's okay. Is that something, explain what you're gonna do with it. Is that something people are gonna be able to pay to use? Or
No,
is that
this
something
is-
for us?
This
or-
is for the town vehicles, looking to get probably around 3 vehicles.
Oh,
because
that
you
we're
get-
gonna use, okay.
Right, lease, not a capital lease, an actual lease, because you get $7,500 credits towards each lease, and then you get credits towards putting in the charging stations as well. So these would be phase 2 dual head unit charging stations that we put outside my town hall for our vehicles. And then actually if people are coming in,
Well, there was, not
Are they
to
free?
but there was,
yeah, that's I wouldn't think.
well,
you
no,
know,
there was an article that this town, where they're starting to become more popular, actually had a few places where you put a credit card in to charge your car for a certain amount of time. I didn't know if that was something they
I
were
would
doing.
think, I don't think we have, we've reached
No,
that.
yeah, there's not that many out there right now, but I didn't know if that was something.
Typically parking lots and reserved spaces for,
The new
Yeah.
they charge.
Yeah, they charge you for it, yeah.
Every parking lot I've
It's just
seen.
the battery or has to.
Yeah, well, there's not that many out there now.
So,
It's not
and
that
it
many.
starts
Right.
Put
It's
your credit card in and charge you
Yeah.
for a hour.
So Miami has some, it has
That's
every.
what I read it in Florida, yeah.
That and death traps are about this big.
those are, well, it's interesting because the Tesla Model 3 is about a similar range.
Yep.
And even the cost was really, if you want to get anything fancy, was about $75. But the new Bolts, the 238 miles for full charge is really, it's about to come out the end of this year. I think that'd be the perfect vehicle to use because that'll get you up into Boston and back. We don't have to worry about paying mileage.
Well, that would be.
You know, and I was looking at it, our inspectional services department, all their trucks are 2005 Colorados. Not bad vehicles, but, you know, 10, 11 years old. We have one GMC, it's not anything like Katie or something like that, the little one that I now have 3 departments trying to share. It's, you know, we're gonna need some fleet vehicles, we might as well, if we can get $7,500 credits per, we might as well get most of it. I don't see us buying the Beamers like Marion and Dartmouth. That might get me.
Are you buying those i7s or
The
i5s?
i3s.
i3s.
Even the new range extender goes over 100 miles, but those are at 60 miles and weren't as popular. So literally with the incentives, they were getting them for about $50 a year was the cost of the community. But they had to put all sorts of bumper stickers on them, marketing plans, because
Right.
people were going a little wild about them. So that would be, the total capital is $865,000.
Good.
Certain that we approve all of it, but we haven't approved it.
Well, it's good because we have to start investing in our capital equipment. That's,
We haven't done it for years.
that's the thing that we have to
We
do.
just started.
Yeah. Right.
I remember 5 or 6 years ago, the capital wasn't even talking about
Mhm.
nothing.
Yeah.
Right before your time, we had talked to me, there was capital, was like, no word. I remember it for years. It wasn't,
Yeah.
that's the capital. something.
Andrews went out
Oh,
and
my
bought
God.
those Dodge Chargers, or whatever they are.
No.
Yeah, we're
Without
almost,
permission.
Right.
we've got 4 or 5 of those left. And we're
Get rid of those
guys.
Right. All right, is there anything else for town meeting?
I think it's right. Do you guys vote on the union contracts or no?
We did not vote on the union.
Did the,
How do you make up
Capital plan, is that something we should do or?
I couldn't understand what you said for a second. Is the money that's going to fund these has already been approved?
Right, they're in prior held articles. So it's not coming out of the budget, it's not coming out of stabilization or free. It will in the future, right? But this right here, it's prior encumbered funds, so.
did dispatchers,
Yeah.
The dispatchers did not ratify.
did not.
All right. Good question over here.
Just out of curiosity, I just want to ask one
Go
thing
ahead.
about those. 106,000 is what percent of, and what is the average increase in these things?
It ranges on the whole way. We have about, that represents just under 70 positions. So if you spread it out per person, you'd be talking 1,700 maybe.
Because some of these contracts, they get whatever the negotiated raises plus a step increase.
Some will have step increases in the future. You know, but some will
So teachers
have.
will take a year.
Well, yeah, if you're, it depends. If you've reached, some of them have what we call super steps. So you have
10-year or 20-year.
5 years. After 5 years, you'd have a 10-year or a 15, 20 or something. You know, they would have a 15, 20, and 25-year step. How much they're still underpaid in comparison to the next town over. Well, that's when we went through, we did the study. We did when we did the study, we looked at it, and our goal was to get to the, if you will, the average of the high to low of that range. And we're still probably about, if I looked at about 8%, 10% below that. Predominantly across the board. So it's paying about 92%.
All right.
Does that include an estimate for the cost in overtime and then pension and everything else? Or not?
Other communities pay that as well, so. some
No,
of
but
them
I'm going
have
to talk about
that.
the $106,000, is it?
No.
Yeah. It's just, it's just a flat
They
dollar.
negotiate the overtime, but that's how it works. It's just whatever happens, happens.
All right, should we vote on capital, the capital plan?
Make a motion that we approve the
Second.
Further discussion? All those in favor of approving the capital plan as presented? Anyone opposed? Anyone else? No? All right, unanimous. Very good. Now, also on the certified free cash, is there any vote required on that?
I don't think so, it's just a number we need.
The numbers that were presented to us. Very good.
I thought you said these things had to be approved by town meeting. So,
Those are the non-cap, didn't you already?
no, I understand.
Oh,
But
right.
to expend these monies, you need approval.
Right, town meetings.
So we don't need to vote.
For a specific project, yeah, it's a pool.
Article 2 is the capital plan.
Right.
The Article 3, the transfer of free cash, which you need to vote on. And Article 4, I don't know if you guys are the code enforcement or
We need a motion for Article 3.
not. Right, yeah.
Yep.
Make a motion to approve the transfer of free cash in Article 3.
Something.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Any abstentions? No. Approved. Very good.
And then Article 4, make a motion to transfer free cash to code enforcement.
Yes.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone holding? All right, very good. Article 5.
The union contracts. Make a motion for approval of Article 5, union contracts.
All right.
Is this a list of the wages or?
This is the, it would be C, E, E, F, and G.
Go on, motion.
Any
C, D, E,
so-
F, and G.
All right. So H, I, and J have not been signed.
Correct.
All right, we moved and seconded that we approve Article 5, union and other contracts. All those in favor?
Aye.
H, I, A through G.
No, C
No,
through
C
G.
C through G.
Yeah.
C through G. I'm sorry. All right. Very good. All those in favor of C through G? Anyone opposed? Anyone holding? All right, that passes. All right. Only other one I think we didn't vote on was the planning board, the zoning.
Did the Board of Selectmen vote on that already? Do we have a vote from them? I think that's what we're waiting for, am I right?
No,
We're waiting for.
we're going to have a public
Oh, that's
hearing.
right, on the
They were having a
there was
public
a
hearing.
meeting, correct.
Oh, those are for the,
Right. And there were some changes in there.
there were some changes. If you look,
The gentleman's down there, do we even need him to talk?
Ken is the, in the back, if you pull out your motions, you can actually see what the changes are, because I included them in there in case somebody wants to see them up on the screen.
Right.
So if you go to page 31, you'll see Article 20, the zoning bylaw. These are basically, I believe these are the changes that are made, but you want me to grab Ken real quick and see if you can speak to it? Just stand up.
Can we understand these well enough to vote on them in 10 minutes?
I don't think we can at this point. I think we,
And then them being further complex.
right. Zoning complex, yes.
Who gets affected, how much?
I guess they'd mind color.
And we also,
Okay.
isn't there some committees that you put together to look at the entire zoning bylaw?
Yeah.
There is.
That would do that.
All right, so we won't vote on that. Anything else on town meeting?
Do we have something we want to say on that? Probably.
All right.
That we haven't.
Why don't you look at that? We also have a gateway printing invoice to pay. And where are we going to take the money from?
That one should still have money there.
We do have money in the finance committee.
We got enough to pay it, Kelly.
Right there, so
I'm thinking they can help us, I don't want to go in the negative. We have a positive after paying it.
we should.
We will.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
think we've touched it.
We haven't touched it
No,
yet.
no.
Okay. So, we have a motion to approve the invoice for the
So moved.
printing of the warrant for $515. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Right.
Unanimous.
So, the finance committee recommendation. Says the proposed zoning changes reflect the realities and changing conditions in another town and deserve serious recommendation, serious consideration and scrutiny. The finance committee believes that any zoning changes deserve a public hearing so that all aspects of the proposed changes can be discussed and addressed. Due to the timing of the public hearing, the zoning bylaw changes, the finance committee was not able to review the article by the printing of the booklet. The finance committee will continue to investigate. Is there anything we?
Well, they did hold a public
They
hearing.
did, and
But we still haven't had the opportunity.
We have no idea, does anybody know what happened?
so is there anything
There were
you'd
some
like to say that's not this?
I want to get this guy.
Although,
I think we should say that.
Excuse me, Ken?
It should be done as part of the broader review of the zoning bylaw.
I want to get
is
this.
everyone else happy with that message?
See, if Ken's here, he can give us an overview of that, maybe explain why
He
he
did say the zone's not going to fall apart because of the
I don't think so either.
Real quick, I guess there's some questions, if you might get in the hot seat right there.
Yes.
Ask my girl Kelly, she'll shoot you, but she don't like you.
That's for Joe.
Our question, Ken, is through our boss here, what actually went on in the public hearing that we should be, what was the major concerns and what should we be aware of?
They held a public hearing on the 12th of October. At that time, the issues were that they didn't want to spend the time on the bed and breakfast and lodging bylaw. Thought that that needed a lot more work, and so we decided to pull that.
Okay.
They found the rest to be relatively benign. Changed some of the specifics in the storage container bylaw.
I also was worried about that, yeah.
And in terms of the rest, let them go as the definitions were as originally.
Excuse me, through the chair. The changes in the container, can you brief us on that, please?
Yeah, one of the things was an accessory container. They decided to add the definition. There was metal, an adjective in when it's a storage container used for accessory, and to not allow them in any district, any residential district, except for R130 and R60, because they thought that that was those were large enough lots that they could be hidden from view as required by the definition.
And in those, this is a change, and in those lots, it was by special permit, is that correct?
That's correct.
Alice, refresh my memory, what was your concern on the, was it
But Ellis
industrial farming equipment or what?
Ellis had a concern on the junk, on the zoning, on the, really,
Definition
Definition
of
of
open
junk.
storage.
Oh.
But it's a prohibited use.
the prohibited, but the definition of junk was not elaborated upon.
That's right.
No, it's already in the zoning bylaw.
How many people showed up at the public meeting?
2 people.
So I thought. No one ever does, 2. That's a great town we live in,
Hardly
Tom.
public, yeah.
Great town we live in.
It was hardly a peak.
So what is the definition of junk in the zoning bylaw?
Any worn out, cast off, or discarded articles or materials which are ready for destruction or disposal or has been collected or stored for salvage or conversion to some use. Any article or material which unaltered or unchanged or without further reconditioning can be used for its original purpose as readily as when new shall not be considered junk. So I think this is actually the better definition than the one in the general bylaw.
And this is
Well,
where,
that kind of saves over.
This is in the zoning in
equipment.
Article 16.
All right, that's what's hard on There's a lot to take in here. We didn't obviously do our homework or drag you back over to talk about it. So having trouble recommending it at this point.
I understand, and
Our other thing is there's a committee coming along to study all of it and help you out with it.
yeah, but that would take, that's probably going to take a year plus to go through the whole zoning and get it done. So in the meantime, the building commissioner said, here's a few
Right.
things that
No,
are
we-
really kind of problematic,
Yeah.
and wanted to get them done. Couldn't do everything, there were 23 items that he had.
Yeah.
And so we picked the lowest thing, one that are most effective in terms of the impact
Okay.
to the action.
Well, I think the way you left it to the chair, I agree with the way you read it, and left it. And that's what you're looking for. Vote for approval or?
Well, the explanation is nowhere near vote for approval. That's, we don't know what.
I think the way you said it, I think the way you said it.
So if
was
you're gonna vote to
perfect.
approve it.
I don't think we should. I think you should leave it the way you said. That we didn't have enough time and there's too much to digest.
and I'll ask the rest of the board. Do we agree on that? No, I think you've made a valiant start on it, but it's a big project. And
Yeah,
I think from the board, we don't have enough information to go really make a recommendation either way at this point.
Okay, that's reasonable.
All right?
All right, good.
Thank you, Ken.
Very good. Thank you for coming by. Thank you for joining us in the town.
Thanks for doing this stuff. It's
Yes.
It's important.
Yeah, no, it is important. The two important things that the town can do in terms of change in its community is zoning, the land use, and the capital program. The infrastructure comes along,
Yes.
programs that come along with it, but your work on the capital program and the finances of the town are what's really important to the.
Well, it's all got to work together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've got a big job ahead of you, but thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Yes. All right. Let's see. Any other business? Do we have any meeting minutes to approve or not? No minutes? All right. Any other business at this point? All right. Take a motion to adjourn.
Next meeting,
Next meeting.
or are we just gonna do it by email?
I think we're looking at 2 weeks from now.
You said like the 9th, I think, in an email?
The 9th. Does that work for
2 weeks
everybody?
from next
Thursday. Wednesday, excuse me.
2 weeks from Wednesday, the date is the 9th.
I believe it's the
I
9th.
believe it's,
The 9th, which is
Is that,
the 9th, or Wednesday, the 9th. 6:30.
yes. All right. We have a motion to adjourn. All those in favor? All right.
plan for reading.
Thank you.